It is Sunday, November 28th. Got to check the calendar. Boy, this month flew by. It flew by. November 28th, here with your NFL Week 12 show with Joe Madden, of course. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, Mitch. We've had a great month so far. College football went so quick, and great games yesterday.
Really was a great season this year. It was like we had no really bad weeks. Normally there's like a week and you're just like, oh, this is kind of the dead week. We maybe had 1 week where it wasn't like, there wasn't many attractive games. But outside of that, I mean, it was a great season. And boy, it really, after a year with no fans in the stands and then going to rivalry week and having a day like yesterday, it was crazy. It's like it lived up to its billing in every single game. It was like every game, even there was a few blowouts in there, but even those were payback games,
Yeah.
So it was like, like Illinois against Northwestern, it was like they owed them, it was like they just woodshedded them. It was like they should in a rivalry game. And, we saw, Alabama, Auburn, just you can't, every second matters in these games. And,
Yeah.
saw, Ohio State, Michigan, and just, I think what makes winning fun is the pain and suffering of all the losses.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like that's
Yeah.
why the bandwagon thing, I always struggle with it and all that other stuff because I'm a Canes fan. And it's like live or die. I'm a Canes fan. It's like it's the pain and suffering that makes the days. Someone's clanking something, but. But anyways, it's those days that make. I see what's going on. We have the wrong slide up. There we go. Anyways, good morning. Now I got it fixed. But yeah, because I have this preview mode. But anyways, it's those
Yep.
games that make. It's those days, when you have those tough losses. It's those bad seasons, that make those days when you win those games. You saw it in Michigan, just, the gorilla come off these people's back,
Yeah.
You saw it, and whether you were rooting for them or not, and you saw, you know,
Even as an Ohio State fan, I sat there and I gave it to Michigan. They played their hearts out.
they beat the crap out of Ohio State in
They
that game. They
absolutely
beat
did.
the
Yeah.
crap out of them. It was a physical beating in that game.
Yeah.
And they really took it out on them. They knew that like the only way they could beat them was just punch him in the face, and they absolutely did. I can't stand either of those teams, and I give it to them. And then you saw it in Stillwater last night, where the Bedlam series is one of those rivalries where it hasn't been an even series. It hasn't
Hmm.
been anything like that. It's been Oklahoma dominance.
Yeah.
And when Oklahoma, got that, looked like they had the momentum in the second half, the guy drops the punt, the safety, excuse me. It was like you could see the Oklahoma State fans go, "Oh no, here it comes again,"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, "We're gonna do it," and it's like Oklahoma drops the punt, and it was like then they punch it in, and it was just
Yeah.
it was bedlam, and I really felt that you saw the difference between why Oklahoma State doesn't win those games, and I felt that they were fortunate to win. Because Mike Gundy did
Absolutely.
exactly what what we see the bad coaches do, and you stop doing what works and you start getting into this
Yeah.
time management bull crap. It's
Yeah.
like play the game. This is why you're winning, is you're playing this way. And it's
Yeah.
like these guys are stacked. It's like you can't leave them that crease, that crack. It's like
No.
you can manage the clock all day you want. That receiver on Hazelwood, I believe his name is Jadon. What's his name? Jadon, whatever.
Is it Hazelwood?
I think
Yeah.
so. From
I believe
Oklahoma,
it is.
he's the
Yeah.
top 5 NFL draft choice.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
he's the guy coming out of high school like everybody wanted. And then we
Yeah.
saw at LSU, down 24-20. bang. I thought it was a push. I thought he pushed off the defender. They didn't call it. It was touchdown, and there it is, 27-24. Coach O says, "I'm not coaching the bowl game," and that's it. He's out at LSU. And Coach O, 11-11 since the national championship, but it's not the record on the field as to why he's not going to be coaching there anymore. It's the 2 allegations of sexual misconduct against players that went unreported. So it's just it's a different story there, but. Man, what a day. What a just a great day to be a college football fan. And for me, it was like, it's bigger than Christmas. It's bigger than the Super Bowl. It's bigger than all that stuff. That we saw that, the Axe, and they went bananas. And they won the Axe. It was like
rightly so.
They went nuts. They hadn't won the Axe in years in Minnesota. Same thing. And it was just years of frustration, and with the fans back in the stands pouring onto the field. It was tremendous.
It was one of those days where there was so many games on. I had games on three devices, but I still couldn't keep up with the games. You'd go from one to another and go, "Oh my God, this is happening here." It was just absolutely fantastic.
It was amazing. And like a lot of teams that people had counted out, like Oregon, came out and just absolutely, showed, "Oh yeah, you want a piece of this?" And
something to prove.
Well, they'll get a rematch with Utah on Friday night, and that will be interesting. And speaking of rematches, I know this is a football show, and we'll get to the picks in just a second. But the Lakers are playing the Pistons today, so it's the rematch of the brawl last week. So it's like you even have that going on today. But anyways, we've got James Clark with us. He's our first guest today. You guys saw I had the slide incorrect at the beginning, so he was kind of sitting there, I think, not saying anything. Or I think he became a blank screen is what happened.
He did become a blank screen there.
It's okay. He's not a blank screen anymore, unfortunately, for the rest of us. It's like, we pipe in James's sound.
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Morning, James. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Good. West Virginia's rival is Pittsburgh, but they did not play the backyard brawl yesterday. Normally it is on that day too. But Pittsburgh played Syracuse, and West Virginia, who did they play? They played
Kansas. We played Kansas.
It was like kind of anticlimactic there, and I think it's unfortunate. It's kind of like the Texas A&M series, which I guess is going to resume with Texas joining the SEC. And then, Bedlam, that could be the last Bedlam game at in Stillwater is what they were saying, with Oklahoma leaving for the SEC. Sometimes these rivalries stay, sometimes they go, but I tell you, I'd like to see that backyard brawl every Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I would too, Mitch. Like you said, the Pitt and West Virginia game, it's always good. Or I would even, if they would have moved the Virginia Tech game to this, that would have been a good one too. Virginia Tech and West Virginia, or Pitt and West Virginia. When we had the Big East, everybody loved when we played Pitt, or Virginia Tech, either one. But the backyard brawl, everybody always gets hyped up for it. Don't matter if they're playing basketball, football.
I get hyped up for it. I get hyped up for all the games. Joe Madden had to put up with it. I started talking about rivalry week about 2 months ago.
Which I'm glad you did, because it really got me hyped for some of these trophies that they were winning. I didn't know about some of these trophy names, so super excited for that.
I mean, I thought that the Axe celebration in Minnesota was really the culmination of the day. I thought, the fans storming the field in Michigan was kind of the gorilla off their back. And, they interviewed Jim Harbaugh after the game there in Michigan, and he's kind of like, and, I've been a Harbaugh basher, right? I mean, I've been a Harbaugh basher all along. And he hasn't been able to get it done at Michigan. Here he is after the game, and he's just like, I'm really happy for our fans and for our boosters or whatever. And then all of a sudden, you could see it sinks in, and he's done with the interview, and he goes running off, and he's all excited. He's jumping around, and he's got no security around him at all. And the fans are just mugging him, and he's hugging all the fans and high-fiving everybody, and, there was no social distancing. And it was just, you could just see the gorilla come off his back, and it was kind of just, it gives you chills, just like the Axe, just like all those other things where it's just like, you see that, you know, and that's the difference, like I always say, between you're the diehard fan and then you're the bandwagon fan. It's like the bandwagon fan, I want to bet, you know, but the diehard fans, it's like, you know, it was like, for me, like when Miami won in '84, the first national championship, when they won and they beat Nebraska as 18-point dogs in the Orange Bowl. And that Nebraska team had, you know, they had an average margin of victory of 58 points that season. And, you know, we took them down in the Orange Bowl. And it was all those years of sitting out there and getting blown out by, you know, Michigan and Notre Dame and Penn State and all those teams just all came pouring out of our system. You know, we rushed the field, you know. We carried our coach off, you know, and it was, you know, it's hard to describe. And I think Damien Sosh, you know, he yesterday's show, he kind of nailed it. But anyways, we got NFL today. I could talk college football, you know, forever, especially a day like yesterday.
All day, yes.
But you know exactly
awesome
that
day.
feeling. It's just, you know, for some of these players, it's like that is their, you know, that is what they, you know, I explained it yesterday. It's like everything they've ever done since the time, like when I was a little kid sitting in the stands watching, you know, my Hurricanes lose. Every, you know, for these guys that play in the game, every meal they've eaten, every weight they've lifted, everything they've done their entire life pointed to yesterday, you know, and that game, to playing in that game, you know. And, you know, those kids in Auburn, Alabama, I mean, especially like places like that, you know, especially, you know, it was like you could see it.
You can definitely tell Haskins wanted to play like yesterday, man.
Oh,
5 touchdowns, man. He looked good. He looked good all day yesterday.
Well, I think Michigan just beat the crap out of them in the trenches, and it was. I think you put, you know, not take nothing away from him. I think you put in any reasonable running back in college football behind that line yesterday. Ohio State's defense just had no answers. Kerry Combs will be fired. I mean, he will be fired as defensive coordinator at Ohio State. He will be after that game. They got whooped in the trenches. You have it in the big games, and we saw it across the board. The teams that blocked and tackled the best win the games. That's how you win the big games. The other games, the guys running down the sidelines, throwing balls, all that other stuff. It happens, you know. But in these games, it was those sacks, those losses, those stuffing. You know, the fourth down, right? This is
well, it's like last night in the Oklahoma State game. You seen that guy to make the last tackle crawled on his arms to make the tackle. You know, and that's it. You know, he was on his belly and he crawled to grab him by the ankles on fourth down. You know, and that won him the game. You know, tackle there.
Absolutely.
So,
but anyways, we got NFL today. To me, it's a little anticlimactic after yesterday. We got a small card though, but a card nonetheless. What are you looking at today, James?
I'm looking at the Titans New England game here, guys. You know, if you look at the Titans, you know they've won their last 5 games as underdogs. You know, here they are again as underdogs. You know, they beat Kansas City. You know, they beat the Colts, New Orleans. You know, all these teams as they was underdogs. And, you know, you look what the Patriots are doing. Yeah, they're putting up points. Their defense is stepping up, you know, but they got a lot of questionable players today. So I really like the Titans today on the money line to step up again and do what they've been doing all season. When they're underdogs, they're winning, and I really like them on the money line. You look at it, it's plus 260, plus 270. Awesome value. I like the Titans to step up and take this game from New England today.
Joe, James brings up some interesting points here, and you look at the Titans, and we talk NFL football all week long, but you look at the Titans and you look at who they beat and who they lost to, and this is a team that clearly gets up for the good teams and clearly can't get up for the bad teams. They have 3 losses this season. They're the Jets, the Texans, you know, are 2 of them. Meanwhile, they have wins over, you know, over the heavyweights, you know, of the NFL week after week.
Yeah.
What do you think?
They're a team that play down, and they're a team that circles these opponents that they really want to come out and beat.
It's unbelievable, right? It's Buffalo, Kansas City, Indianapolis, the Rams, and the Saints. They beat all of them. They lose to the Texans, the Jets. You know, they beat the Colts, the Seahawks. You know, at Seattle with Russell Wilson, overtime. It's like,
absolutely. They let those games go that they don't have circled, but this is a game they have circled. I'm completely with James in this one. They haven't only just covered as an underdog in their last 5, they've won them straight out. So give me the Titans on the money line. I think they come in, they run all over New England in this one.
This is a Belichick, versus one of his former assistants game, and Vrabel has played well, has been the guy that has played them fairly tough. They did beat them a couple years ago in the playoffs, when the Titans made that run and just missed against Kansas City, who went on to actually win the Super Bowl that year. But the Patriots, tough to deny the run that they're on right now, but haven't beaten the level of competition that the Titans have. They just haven't. They've played some good teams in there, but, they played the Browns was probably the best of the bunch. They beat the Chargers 27-24. They've pounded these teams, though. They've pounded the bad teams. They've gone super efficiently. I think for the Titans to win it here or to stay close, they're going to have to not make any turnovers, and they're going to have to force turnovers. That's their chance here. Mac Jones is just not making a lot of mistakes there. They're not putting him in position to make a lot of mistakes. I think it's going to be a close game. I think a touchdown is a hell of a lot of points for a game like this that is going to come down to a turnover.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a lower scoring game, too. I can completely see it. Both these defenses really will step up today. So it's going to be a good one.
Another thing to look at, y'all, is you see Hunter Henry questionable. If you look, guys, he's scored 5 of the last 6 games for New England here. So, if he's out, man, it's a big loss for the New England. He's questionable. So look for that, too. If he's out, I like Tennessee now. With him out, I like him even more. So
absolutely.
Definitely stay with the who's in and who's out before the game starts.
What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Guys, I got a 6-pack going on right now. I got 5 NFL games and 1 NBA game right now. Guys, you can get a 6-pack. Off of a struggling day yesterday, had 2 pushes, which could have went either way. That's part of football. But looking to bounce back today and go 6-0. After we go 6-0, upgrade 3, 6, or 30-day guys, or like I say every time on the show, we got the best cappers in the world, and we do by far. So team me up with one of them and put some money in your pockets, fellas.
Always a hot capper at Pick Dogs, that's for sure. At least there's always a bunch of them. But anyways, I think it's just, we have a bunch of people with different styles, and I think that's what it is. It's like some people lean on the favorite, some people lean on the dog, some people, play one style, some people play another. It's like some people avoid these type of games, some people, they don't care, Yeah, I just give out the games I think are going to win. But anyways, James, thanks for joining us, and of course, we'll see you next week, and during the week, of course, on the drive-through.
Yes, appreciate you having me on the show, Mitch and Joe, and I'll see y'all next week.
Have a wonderful day, James. Enjoy the games.
You too. Good luck, everybody.
James Clark with us. Of course, he was a winner of the Become a Capper contest last year for Pick Dogs, and here we are a year later, and he's been on top of the leaderboards a few times throughout the season. But we have a bunch of cappers with us today, and of course, we have our Become a Capper contest. It starts on December 1st. I'm telling everybody, enter now. I say it in the videos. I know you guys fast forward over that part, and that's fine. But the reality is that I'm saying it. Enter now because you don't want to enter at the last minute, because you will be able to enter the contest late. But if you enter late, you will start in the hole. Every day that you don't enter, you'll have negative, 200 we said for every day, or negative 100?
You know what? I think negative 200 makes way more sense than negative 100 because...
Okay. Then it's minus 200 if you want to enter late. So if you enter up to 5 days late, you're going to be minus 1,000. If you're more than 2,000 out of the lead, then you're eliminated from the contest. So, you could be out of the contest before you're even in it if you start on the 5th day. But everyone has plenty of time. I've put it in every single video I've done. We've had over, how many views did those videos get? Let's see.
Yeah, and even if you haven't been assigned a number yet and you have entered, your number will be coming out. So
we've had,
don't panic.
2,616,423 views on our video since I've added that message. So I think that people have had ample opportunity to know that we're having a contest. So I'm excited to have 2 new cappers here. I'm always excited for the cappers that we have as well, including Kevin Thomas, who's going to be up next with us.
Yeah, I can't wait for the competition to get underway, Mitch. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who do you think's going to win?
I have no idea at all.
I have no idea.
We take side bets on this? I don't know.
I'll take side bets on who's not going to win. How about that? I'll take side bets on who's not going to win. And that is usually the people that are bragging about how great they are and about how crap it, and they need to tell how great they are by telling how bad other people are, you know? It's like those are the ones like, I'm way better than this person. I'm way better. This person's a fraud. This person's a joke. This person's a whatever. Yeah. It's like
absolutely. And I think people need to realize that's not the Pick Dog style either.
It's not our style. So, it's not my style. You guys, I don't think I've stated my record or position on any leaderboard on this show ever, or on any of our shows ever. So, just not my way of doing things. I know other people do. They don't get the exposure that I do, and that's okay. But it's like we're not, we don't pat ourselves on the back too much when we're running hot, and we don't kick ourselves too bad when we're down. You know, we're kind of just, we know it's like, this is what I do. Speaking about this is what I do, we got Kevin here with us, Joe, and it's, this is what I do. It's like, this isn't a picking contest for me. I got bills to pay. I live in, where I live is expensive. It's like it's like $11 for a jar of peanut butter. I have bills to pay, and days like yesterday will pay it, and also some games like yesterday. I lost. I think I know my bankroll is up from yesterday. I'm gonna guess the picks I gave out, a bunch of them won, but I mean I had 2 losses. One was by 1 point and one was by half a point, and I didn't lose that many games. It was like, ouch, it's like they count the same thing as if I lost 41-7.
Absolutely.
Same. But Kevin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Any advice for anyone that wants to be any advice for anyone that wants to be a handicapper with us?
It's a lot of work. I mean, if you put the work in, you can be super successful at this. I know many cappers that make a lot of 6-figure guys out there just putting up picks. If you do the work and the research, and you can win, and you don't have to win every game, but if you hit around 54 and higher and stay at the top of these leaderboards for all these sports, you're going to make money. And that's the best advice I can give. Just put the research in.
Absolutely. It is a lot of work. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is how much time it does take to come up with your picks for the day.
Absolutely. Well, what do you got for us today, Kevin?
I'm on those Panthers over the Dolphins. I like the Panthers -2.5 here. I know that I'm not a big Cam Newton fan, and then if you look at the Dolphins winning the last 3, I've looked at the last 3 they played. We got the Texans, the Ravens, and the Jets. Now you could say, well, the Ravens is a pretty impressive win, but that's a 4-day rest for Lamar Jackson, who was pretty much sick the game prior to that. Comes to town, and the Dolphins did a good job. They took out his big weapon, which is Andrews. You're not going to take a tight end in Miami and light it up, but you can light it up with the deep ball. And I'm not saying Cam can throw the deep ball, but I think the way they're going to have to play Cam, you're going to get a lot of DJ Moore running down the middle. Robbie Anderson, another big threat. So I just think Carolina has way too many targets here for the Dolphins to match up. And they like to blitz. They like to do their crazy defense. And Cam's going to run on them. I mean, last season when he played with the Patriots, he was 15 for 19, 155 yards. But he also ran for 15 carries, 75 yards, scoring 2 touchdowns. And back then it was Fitzmagic, and Fitzmagic, quarterback for the Dolphins, who, I mean, Tua, he can run with his feet, but Fitzmagic used to run with his feet too, and Fitz could slam it. He just was a little bit turnover prone. So I just think Carolina on the road, they're 3-2 on the road. They have a better road record and home record. Cam's 10 days now into this system against the Washington. He didn't look so great in the 2-minute drill, but even the coach came out and said it's hard to prepare for 2-minute drill in 10 days rest or 10 days prior. So I think Carolina and their defense shows up for this one after the letdown against Washington.
I definitely like the under. Joe, what are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, I think we're going to see an under game as well. I like what I've seen out of Miami's defense. In the last 4 games, they've only been holding teams to 15.5 points. I don't trust in Cam Newton. That's what it comes down to in this game. So for me, it would be either Miami or the under, but I think the under is definitely the stronger play.
I'd see 80 degrees plus more than likely for this game. Probably going to be some humidity, but this time of year in Miami, actually, it lightens up just a little bit sometimes for a couple of days. Looks like that the Panthers might be in luck in that regard, but I expect the Dolphins to put them in those black uniforms at that 1 o'clock spot. And that is a death trap, a death march. And I like the Dolphins in this one. I like the way that they're playing. This is a team that missed the playoffs by a game last season. By one game, they had that game against Buffalo. They got smacked. And the Dolphins really started the season super disappointing. But even at 4-7 with a 17-game schedule, if they can put together and win 5 of their last 6, which is certainly possible, because they've got the Bills out of the way. They've already got swept by the Bills, so it's like they don't have that on the schedule. They've got the home game against the Patriots, which is an automatic win. They beat them every single year in Miami. And then, the schedule doesn't shape up to be that difficult. So 9 wins is possible here. I think, 10 is a pipe dream to win out, but it's certainly not impossible from what we've seen from this team. In Carolina, this is a team fully capable of doinking a field goal as time expires. So I think that's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a tight game, and I think getting points with the home team is where I want to be here. And maybe it's a homer pick for me. I don't care. Maybe it's just I feel like disagreeing with Kevin this morning. Could be all of the above,
But, the Panthers are the square play, and I usually tend to fade square plays like this.
I know you're friends with Damien Sosh. Do you think the way that Joe pronounces Notre Dame makes it sound a little less like a whorehouse? Because we had this argument yesterday.
I didn't hear it.
Joe,
I say Notre Dame.
Oh.
But a Notre Dame.
Little less like a whorehouse than it normally does.
It's not a whorehouse. Come on.
It's a, what do you call it again? It's a
gentleman's club.
Well, exactly. It's a gentleman's club. Just don't touch anything. Anyways, this should be a tight, low scoring. I'm gonna imagine a tight, low scoring, defensive, hard hitting game. Is the way that this one goes.
If the Dolphins had a run game, they only have 3 games where they rushed for over 100 yards. I would definitely look at the Dolphins here, but I just think Carolina can. They don't have to load the box for anybody there, and I think they can, cover that. Waddle. I mean, who else today? They don't. I mean, no Parker. Who's their deep threat? Hollins has been playing decent, but he's a small guy. He's one over the top. I think they can do away with those 2 guys and force this into a, like you said, low scoring, short game, dink and dunk. To his favorite target, Gillespie.
I would say Parker and Fuller are just so disappointing. With Fuller acquiring him to stretch defenses and, him just not even showing up. And then Parker is just basically, he's been in a walking boot since the day they drafted him. And it's like, I don't understand it. He plays, he's great when he plays,
what happened to Preston Williams? He was another big target. I don't even see him. What happened? I had him last year in fantasy. He just disappeared too. Is he even there?
Not even sure, but Alan Hearns is another guy that they have too, who's been injured as well, and he's a burner. I never understood why he was never drafted, but didn't make any sense to me. But you have guys that can play, and he was like that year he was my free agent that was going to shine, and he certainly has, but man, he's been hurt a lot lately. I guess, it's the NFL. They're going to get hurt. What do you have for sale today?
I actually have a mega value pack in the NFL, which that includes my total of the year in the AFC. So I usually don't throw those total of the year into a 3-pack, but I made it a mega. You can get that for $50 all three. You can buy them each individually. And I do have a top play on that NBA game. So I think a lot of eyes are going to be on that at 9 o'clock tonight when LeBron and Stewart play each other. So that's another big top play right there you can get to end the night with. And as always, the 2-for-1 capper deal is the best deal in the house because, like I say every week, I feel like I'm doing really good. And I look at the leaderboard and I'm like, not even on that page. Like, you got to click on to see all the cappers to see like the guys that actually, the profit guys, because there's so many guys at the top that are raking it in with huge profit, huge units. And I'm simple, 5 picks a day. Very rare I'll do more than that, but it's just winning the ones that you put up. That's the main goal here.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. And
I should be good for Saturday and Sunday next week. This Saturday was just a little hectic with the holidays.
Yeah, next Saturday we're going to go multi-sport for the first time, so should be exciting. It's going to be crazy.
As always, good luck, everybody, and see you next time.
See you.
Awesome. Excited you can join us both days next week. Good luck, Kevin.
See you.
Kevin Thomas. He's got a mega pack.
I like it.
Mega. I wonder how many. What's mega? I've never had a mega pack. I'm gonna do a mega pack.
I like a mega pack.
I'm gonna borrow that one. I like that. It's a mega pack. How big is it? It's a mega pack.
Mega. I don't think I've used that word in forever. There used to be these scratch tickets called the mega pack.
Mega.
Yeah.
It's a good one. We got Al Ninos up next. We'll bring in, and then we'll bring in Shane after Al.
Okay.
That works for everybody. If not, start throwing things. We got Ron Romano.
That green room gets kind of sketchy sometimes.
I'm not really. It's like we didn't really set the order, which makes it difficult because I want to bring everybody in. Let's see, where did Al Ninos go? There he is. And action. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. And well, how'd you enjoy yesterday? It was a big day in sports. To me, it's the biggest day of the year. But
Well, Merry Christmas. Yeah, it was a good day. Lots of great games. A lot of surprising results. The biggest shocker to me was seeing Alabama go scoreless till halftime. That was a very big surprise. But yeah, a lot of great games, and the way that game ended was even crazier. But yeah, it was, I'm sure you're gonna miss it. But we're heading on to NFL today.
What do you got?
I went actually against my Trojans that unfortunately lost the game but covered, so that was disappointing too. That was like a double whammy for me. But
it was a tough one for me because I had given out a 5-pack that I sold on the site as my picks, and like I gave out 7 games though for people that are long-term subscribers, and that was one in my 5-pack that ended up losing. It's like, oh man,
looked good for a while.
Should have just given him Illinois like everybody else. Michigan. And Illinois was like, that was the lock of the century. It's like, I should have just given that to everybody. Anyways, it happens, Sometimes it goes the other way. What do you got going on today?
A little bit of everything. Me, I like to keep up with all these sports, so but it's definitely NFL day today. Are you asking about what I got on the site or for the show?
For the show
first.
For the show.
Yeah, let's do the show first. So yeah, we're looking at the Bucks here heading into Indianapolis after blowing the Giants out 30-10. Obviously, this should be a much tougher matchup for them against a team that's been playing some very good football lately. The Colts coming off that big upset as 7-point dogs in Buffalo for the 3rd straight win. They've also won 5 of their last 6, with the only loss in that stretch coming by just 3 points. In the game where Derrick Henry got hurt. Henry didn't have his best game that day, but he sure did have the defense's attention, which allowed Tannehill to throw for 3 touchdowns, and that was good enough for the win there. But back to this game again. I think both offenses will find some success in this game. They don't have the worst defenses in the world, but I don't see either of these teams being held to under 20 points, with the winner getting to 30 or better here. The Bucs offense hasn't been good on the road. Brady's hasn't looked as sharp as he has at home, but expect them to do better in this game in the Dome Stadium against. Well, that's the Colts' weakness on defense is their pass defense. So I expect Brady to have a much better game today on the road. Colts have relied on Jonathan Taylor for most of their offense, and he definitely will be tested today against the number 1 ranked defense in the league. But he did well against Buffalo, which is another good another good run defense. And well, Tampa's defense will also be tested in this matchup. See if they can hold on to that number 1 spot after today's game. All that being said, I do like the loser in this matchup to get enough scoring done in this game to go over.
Joe?
I worry about the total over in this one. I think it's actually going to go under. We're going to look at the Colts team. They're going to want to limit Brady's time on the field. So they're going to run this ball. They're going to own the time of possession in this game if they have a chance of coming out and getting the win here. And then we look at the Bucs. They do trend to the under. They're 4-1 in their last 5 games as a favorite to that under. They're also 4-0 to that under off a loss. I think this one is just going to come under this number. So give me the under.
Yeah, as much as I give Frank Reich a hard time, and you've all seen the video of my wife doing the impersonation of me during the Colts game. Those Colts, that coach. He is a really good coach, and he's beaten Brady before, and he knows how to do it. And I think this is going to be, like Joe said, I think this one's going to be, longer possessions for the Colts, trying to 3 down, first downs, and instead of throwing home run passes. I think Pittman, should be able to manipulate in this weak secondary too. But Carson Wentz, you put some pressure on him, everyone knows he's in trouble. And the Bucs can put the pressure up where both these teams have the ability to pressure quarterbacks in the way that that affects the quarterback the most, and that is with the center push, right? That's like if you have a pocket passer like Brady, Carson Wentz, you get that center push with the nose tackle. So you have, the Bucs. This is why they're great against the run, right? Because they're great in the middle of that defensive line. You look at the great teams in any level of football, it always starts in the middle of that defensive line. And the Colts have that DeForest Buckner guy that might be okay too. And they also have some other guys on there that are some serious business. So I think it's going to be a pretty rough game in the trenches, and I could see a lot of field goals here, at least field goal attempts.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that 53 is aggressive, but probably not a play for me either way. Al, the rematch in Staples tonight of the Lakers Pistons.
Round 2.
Yep. What do you think?
I hear you're a pretty big boxing fan too, so might get some of that tonight.
Got my Hagler Hearns. I don't know. I think the refs will call it pretty tight. They do with these things.
Of course, I wouldn't expect a round 2 of the fight, but it should be interesting. Who knows? Maybe it will happen though. But maybe that would be a good play for the Lakers. Send LeBron in, get Stewart out the game, both get ejected, get another win. Who knows? Maybe that's the game plan for today. No, I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
Right.
Well, it says one of the comments, Golden State's breathing down the Lakers' neck to become the next champions, but it's like the champions are actually the Bucks. Right? I mean, that's last I checked.
Last time I checked, yeah.
They beat the Suns. Anyways, what do you got for sale today?
So a bit of everything. Got a little touchdown pack, 7 plays. Got my 3 best NFL bets, 2 best NBA, best NHL, and best college basketball bet, all in that 7 pack. Check that out. I got some other sports individually as well. And always check the long-term deals or the 2-for-1 Capper deals, best bets for you.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us as always, and we will see you next week as well as on the drive-thru during the week.
Look forward to it, yeah, and look forward to that multi-sport Saturday show. That sounds fun too.
Yeah, that'll be starting next Saturday. We'll be doing that because college football will be limited. After that, it'll just be bowl games, and that will kind of be the shape of the future of the show until we hit March Madness and NFL season and all that other good stuff. We'll have specials, you know. We also have new morning shows happening, so there'll probably be some opportunities there. People to pop in on my show.
I'm always up for it, Mitch. Just send the email and I'll be ready.
I'll be flying solo, so I'll probably welcome any guests. Kind of like a Neil Young solo acoustic tour, where it's like every song has got a different guy that comes in and plays with him. All right.
I'd be glad to pop on for a song.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Once again, that was Al Ninos, also a former winner of a Become a Capper contest. We've got our contest coming up, and I'm excited. It starts December 1st. If you want to enter now. Don't enter on December 1st because Joe and Rod are going to get super frustrated if you do that because you're going to be like, where's my number? Where's my number? Where's my number? And they're going to be like, I got 400 people picks that entered on time that I got to do their stuff. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, we're not going to stop the world. And it's like, I got news for you. If you're that type of person, probably not going to be a good fit working with me on a regular basis. I know I come off across all smiles and giggles on the show and, you know, my warm personality, but actually, you know, I think, you know, it works both ways. It's like,
it does.
You know, I kind of am willing to do whatever it takes, you know, to help you be successful. But at the same time, it's like I have generally outside of these shows minutes in a day to work with people. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, everyone has to be a big kid.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, Joe helps me out, you know, the best she can. Brian, Rod, everybody, we all kind of pitch in to help each other, but at the same time, we all have our own stuff too that we're limited. So it's like it's a very independent thing, you know, and you need to be able to kind of handle your own stuff. Mistakes happen, people enter in, you know, the wrong thing or, you know, something, you know, no matter who you are, but it's you know, for the most part, it's not like, you know, we're all just hanging out. Bring in I was gonna bring Shane next, but how about Ron Romanelli? We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I would love to have Ron on
We haven't
next.
seen him. So Shane, we're gonna bump you for a second here. We're gonna bring Ron in because we haven't seen him. We miss him. I want to welcome him back.
Absolutely. Hasn't felt the same without him around.
No. So we'll bring him here. Man, I put everybody in alphabetical order. My eyes are so bad.
Are you singing the alphabet in your head as you go down the list?
I put everyone in alphabetical order on the list, and I can't find. Oh, there he is. Oh, I guess with Rod and Brian, for some reason they're not in the list. So it's like I'm looking under Rod for Ron, and it's not there, but there he is, right there. Ron, welcome to the show.
Just when you think you lost me, I'm right there. You got to find me somewhere. I'm glad to be back, guys. I know it's been a long while. I'm battling a cold. I'm so sorry. My throat's a little funky, so I'll be drinking a lot of water. But yeah, it's been a rough week, but I'm back and ready to go and ready to give out a nice free winner in the NFL today.
All right. Well, it's, you know, I know we didn't get a chance to talk about college football yesterday. What did you think of yesterday's games? I mean, it was kind of everything. I know the Gators pulled one out there. They didn't win by the spread. I think, you know, Florida State kind of left it all out on the field there in that game as well. Gators do go to a bowl game. They'll get to play in the Arizona Bowl or something. Not really what they're looking for, the Pilot Pen. The SEC has some nice bowl tie-ins, so they'll actually be in a lot better bowl than they deserve to be in. But, you know, and normally the thing about the Gators is they normally show up for those games, you know. They normally show up big in the bowl game. So it's like, as bad as they've been in the season, maybe we'll get some value on them. Probably not, you know, because everybody knows this. But, you know, when it comes to the bowl games and these guys are auditioning for their NFL careers, all of a sudden they feel like playing. But, you know, the Gator basketball also off to a nice start. They've got a game today. Not a stiff test, but certainly not the gimme that it might look like on paper.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I think they're laying a bundle of points in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of points. I think they're a little bit overvalued at this point.
You think it's
A little bit undervalued at the beginning of the year, but
yeah, I thought so too. I liked Florida State to beat them, and then they didn't do it. But yeah, I think I did the video actually on today's game. It's like, it feels like I did it 6 weeks ago, but I did the video for today's game, and I think it was one of those things. It's like, they're not going to cover every game this season. This just doesn't look like one that they're going to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar spot to the Elon spot at the beginning of the season. I think Troy's a solid team, but I think, like I said, with the wins over Florida State and Ohio State at the buzzer, you're going to see a little bit of an inflated line in Florida's favor, especially at home. So I would lean towards Troy. I think Florida takes care of business, but I could see them taking their foot off the pedal in the second half in that one.
Yeah, it's been a nice start to college basketball. I like college basketball, just has it so right, where it's like you can play these big out-of-conference games, these big out-of-conference tournaments. It doesn't penalize you for losing against good teams. But it only helps you to beat the good teams. And this is how you get Gonzaga, Duke, Gonzaga, UCLA. You've got Gonzaga playing, somebody else next week too. They have a bunch of games like that as well. And then they play Washington in the annual. They play them every year, but they play somebody else. And, you have those games. You have these tournaments, where, North Texas is playing Drake in the last place game. It's like two tournament teams, two NCAA tournament teams battling it out.
Yeah, the coaches are definitely not afraid to schedule those tough games because, like you said, it only can help you, especially if you're on the road. If you get a nice road win over a Power 5 or a Gonzaga type of team, that's really going to help your chances in terms of the committee in March. So,
what do you got going on in NFL today?
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this Falcons-Jaguars game. When two bad teams meet, I usually look towards the over, and that's where I'm looking this game. We saw week 1, the Jaguars met the Texans. They combined for 58 points. Week 4, the Falcons and the Washington football team combined for over 60 points. The Dolphins and the Falcons had a shootout as well, 58 points combined. So you got two bad teams here, two bad defenses. The Jaguars defense, it was playing good a few weeks ago, but recently, or especially last game against the Niners, got torched, gave up 30 points to Jimmy G and company. And I think the Falcons are off a long week of rest after that Thursday night football game, which seems like it was weeks ago. I mean, I can't believe it was only like 10 days ago. But I think they're going to come out. I think Matt Ryan's going to have a strong game. You look at both of these teams' secondaries. The Jaguars are allowing opposing quarterbacks to throw for 72% completion, while the Falcons are allowing opposing quarterbacks 70.3% completion. So quarterback, I think Lawrence and Ryan are going to both have solid days today. I think daily fantasy, both of those quarterbacks could be solid budget plays for DraftKings, FanDuel type of daily fantasy. And I think, the Falcons defense, it's just been inconsistent all season. Sometimes you see some bright spots, but I think we saw them struggle badly against the Patriots. I think we're going to see something similar in this game as well. So that we have a very small spread in this one. The Falcons are only a 2-point, I think 1.5 point favorite at low end of it. So I think you're going to see a tight game, and I think you're going to see a lot of. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think you're going to see the last team with the ball win this game, and I think you're going to see both teams in the mid-20s and get over that 45 total. So I'm going to take the over in this one.
Joe, we had a Falcons team that if you take out the last two games, they had won 3 of 4. And now they've lost 3 of 4 since then, including, the 2 games that Ron mentioned, that one-sided game, which we had to do the halftime on, which I hate them. I hate them for it. That was terrible. Nothing fun about those games. And then, that game against the Cowboys, which I believe was record-breaking second quarter, right, for the Cowboys. Broke all kinds of NFL records. It definitely was.
Yeah, it definitely was. And in this one, I can't trust in the Jags at all. So I'm going to have to go with the Falcons here. We look at the Jaguars, and here is my issue. Trevor Lawrence has thrown for more interceptions, and he has touchdowns this season. 9 interceptions, 8 touchdowns, 58% completion rate. So going with that over scares me a little bit because I worry that he's just going to get picked off, and the Falcons are going to capitalize on that. So I would look at the Falcons team total maybe over there, but I think they come out, they get the win, and they get the cover in this game.
I can't stand Urban Meyer, but I have to appreciate the job that he's doing in Jacksonville. You're going to take bad losses. You're going to have some bad plays that go against you. You're going to have all those things, but I think he's starting in the right places, and I got to give him credit for that. As much as I can't stand the guy, as much as I think he's, at Florida, he broke the record, right? Most players arrested in a season. And I wasn't even counting, Aaron Hernandez, who was on the roster.
Yeah.
But that's not like something I'm making up or anything like that. That is the truth. He had 78 arrests in one season of players in Florida. So he certainly can run the asylum. But the thing is that I like that he's doing a lot. That team's doing a lot of those things right, while the Falcons have been doing a lot of those things wrong. And I think Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. That I think, his best friend, Matthew Stafford, got a chance by getting a change of scenery, and I think Matt Ryan might deserve one as well. It's just, I think the perfect fit for Matt Ryan, unfortunately, is the Falcons' rival, so they're not going to trade him to the Saints, even though that's the spot where he should be. And, it's tough.
Well, he'd be great with the Saints.
Yeah, it's perfect fit. Perfect fit.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, but they're not going to, trade him to the rival.
No, absolutely not.
Brett Favre played. Brett Favre played for the Vikings, so anything's possible. Brett Favre did play for the Vikings, so it's possible. But Brett Favre wasn't he wasn't a Packer for life. He wasn't drafted by the Packers. He was traded to the Packers. So which by the Falcons, ironically, it just might explain a lot of what's going on with their organization. So you get this guy in the second round, and I would just trade him. Let him sit on the bench for a couple years, just trade him. He's not going to be our guy. See, they don't watch college football. That's what happened. So you saw Favre, Southern Miss. It's like he went to Florida State and lit them up. From Southern Miss. Like the Bobby Bowden, like the championship teams, the ones that finished the season ranked in the top 4 for, 20 years straight or whatever. He went in and whipped their butts. But that's a different story. But anyways, Favre almost took the Vikings all the way. But I don't know. I think this is just one of those games where we're probably going to see a lot more turnovers and things like that that are common to these teams with this sort of record. And I think the Falcons, I still don't understand the direction that they're going. I'm just lost on the direction. I think we've seen, what I've learned over the last 10 years, something that I probably never knew or never realized when I was younger, is that these good wide receivers don't grow on trees. They don't. And it's like, you think that there's so many guys and so many deep and all these wide receivers are so good and all this other stuff. And it's like, because it is kind of that fun position, right? Where it's like the guy's running down the field and it's like, oh man, he's a great wide receiver.
Get the glory, right?
They kind of get that kind of thing. But it's like, these guys don't grow on trees. So when you lose a Ruggs, when you lose a Ridley, when you lose a guy like that, it's just, you can't replace that. There are guys that can run fast, but run fast and catch is a very, very difficult, and that's why they make so much money. The good ones. That's why they make so much money. And it's like, so Ryan has lost Ridley, he's lost Julio Jones. He looks like it.
Absolutely. Yeah, this Falcons team really needs to convert and get those touchdowns today. We haven't seen them get a touchdown in their last 2 games.
Yeah, I think you guys see them utilize the Kyle Pitts more too. He's a tight end, but he doesn't play like one. He's got the speed, he's got the size, he's got great hands, and it's not just me as a Gator fan. Watching him in person, he's just a man amongst boys. And I think the Falcons, although he's having a good year in terms of tight ends go, I still think the Falcons could be using him a lot more. So, we'll look to see them doing that. But I think the Falcons are in trouble in terms of they got to rebuild and they got to get started right now because they're in trouble.
Well, I think, the issue that Pitts has is that now he doesn't have Ridley to take a little bit of the heat off of him. So it's like the defenses can't focus on him like he is their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
But anyways, what are you selling today at Pick Dogs?
I got a little bit of everything today. I got my top 3 NFL plays on the board. You can get that in a 3-pack. I also have my top NHL play and my top college basketball play individually on the site. been doing pretty well. November's been a good month for me. Over 1,300 units of profit so far in the month, showing profit the last 24 hours, last 7 days as well. So looking to keep rolling, stay hot, and check me out at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We will see you on the drive-thru during the week, and of course next Saturday right here on our show. And like I said, we're reformatting our morning lineup, so I'll be having guests from time to time on my show. I'll be flying solo, starting I guess in the new year or after at the tail end of December. So we will see how that all goes. But anyways, thanks again for joining us.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, Ron.
Ron Romanelli here with us. Nice to see Ron back with us. Missed him.
Absolutely. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of the good guys.
I do have favorites.
Joe plays favorites. It's like
I totally do.
It's like I play.
Just so everyone's aware that's entering the contest.
Yes.
I do have favorites.
Yes, Joe has favorites. Well, she says that, just like Brian does it too.
I do. Yeah, I tell my kids, I warn them the same. They're like, "Who is your favorite today?" I'm like, "Who has annoyed me the least today? That is my favorite."
I probably would have never been the favorite then. I never got the dollar. Never got the dollar for who could stay quiet.
You could never stay quiet. I believe that. I can't either, Mitch. I think that's why we click so well.
We'll raise it to $5.
No, you gotta raise it through the roof. I always lose that as well.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. We do have Shane Mickle up next. Let's see what we got. So. Different people land on our stuff different ways. We have the Become a Capper contest. Shane actually was a writer for another site. He's written up picks for years and years. He's done this. And then an opportunity came for him to join us, and then he was writing up picks. And we didn't even have the multi-capper site when Shane was writing for us at Pick Dogs. And then we started the multi-capper site, and I asked the guys who had been writing, and that we knew all along to if any of them wanted to come on board, and Shane did, and it's like he's done pretty well on the capping side. I mean, he's got tons of experience writing up games. How many years, Shane, were you writing before you started?
I've been writing since I was 17, and I'm 27 now, so 10 years I guess.
Yeah. So Shane, it wasn't like he just wrote me an email and said, "I'm the best capper, hire me." It was like Shane was writing for other sites and would write me say, I still read your site, and all this stuff. It was so we were glad to get him. It was just, we generally don't go after our competitors, people, except for Joe. So that's we generally don't rate our competitors except when we're rating them. It's an odd thing. It's like, I don't know. I always felt like we were the brand that people kind of were like, they looked, I don't know, maybe it's my own thing, people kind of looked at us like, well, you're not as good as the other ones because they have more people or they're more, structured or they're more all this and everything. But now I'm learning that it seems that more and more people are interested in joining us. And it's, it's because like Joe, blazing a trail. It's like, she's not just turning letters, she's giving we let everybody speak. We don't care, it's like, everybody has a right to an opinion as long as they know what the hell they're talking about. And it's like, nobody is seen as, this role or that role or whatever. It's, I have to say you start with good people and you let them find their way, and we're still, and that's why we're always changing. And, and that's why,
Absolutely. And I'm so thankful to be with a company like Pick Dogs, Mitch, and you, where I have a voice. So I appreciate it.
For
Thank
the time
you.
being, you have a voice.
Yeah,
we
just for a little bit longer.
We can always change that. Joe will have a show. Joe will continue on at 11 a.m. And that will be primarily with Brian. They're going to have a show starting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. Love working with Brian.
I'm going to be at 10 a.m. Joe and Brian will be at 11 a.m. We'll have a weekend soccer show. We're going to have a soccer show every day, a live show. But weekend soccer shows at 9 a.m. before our 10 a.m. Joe and I will still be on the weekends, 10 a.m. We'll still be doing the VIP. We'll still be doing the premium. We'll still be doing the half times. We'll still be doing, all the same stuff. It's just we won't be doing the morning show, and then the afternoon shows will change as well. So, we're just going to have, basically what we're doing is we're going to divide and conquer. We're going to have more shows. I want to do a show for a hockey show with late information, for hockey outside of the drive-through, like a regular everyday show, where though we don't know the goalie sometimes until they skate onto the ice, a lot of times we do. Yeah. We have late information. So those shows could be 10 minutes one day. They could be an hour one day. It's like we're not going to have, we're not all about the structure. But I'm excited. We have a lot of good people, and that when you have that, you have a lot of options. So anyway, Shane.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it. It's going to be great, you guys.
Anyway, Shane, any advice for any of these people looking to join the Become a Capper contest?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is get your picks in on time. I mean, because do your research. But if you end up winning the Capper contest, you're not going to be making sales if you're putting your picks in at noon every day. Those things need to be in early. So I think the earlier the better is definitely for getting your picks in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that being a capper or having a website or doing a show is being in a picking contest. A lot of people come on my YouTube and they think like, oh, I'm fading this guy or I'm fading this. You're not fading me. You're fading the Saints. It's like I just have an opinion on this game, and it's like actually I'm doing this video at least a day ahead. So my opinion could change, and that's why we do the live show where I give the opinion again. But it's like I'm not in a contest with you. You're not going to pay me out. Someone said, if you lose this pick, you're deleting this channel. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's like, if I lose this pick, I'm going to bet on the next game is more than likely what's going to happen. And it's like, and sometimes, I'm telling you, sometimes the stuff that I get from the comments on YouTube, when people are like, really are constructive and brief, is gold. I've won a lot of money off of that, if people use it as a community, and it's like, that's what it's all about. I've won money off picks given on this show too. I mean, yesterday I put in a pick right on the show. I hit it. Money line.
I love it. And I think that's the best thing about Pick Dogs. It is a community, Mitch.
Yep. But anyway, Shane, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the Packers-Rams game. And this almost seems like one where Vegas knows something that we don't, but I'm going to take the Rams, or I'm not taking the Rams. I'm going to take the Packers here on the money line. Now, the Packers are 4-0 at home, and the Rams just look lost right now. Matthew Stafford looks like he thinks he's playing with the Lions again. He's really struggling with those interceptions. Early in the season, it seemed that Stafford, trusted his receivers, was making the smart plays. And now it seems like he's back in that Lions mentality where he's just got to, play hero ball, which with the Rams defenses and the offensive playmakers he has around him, that doesn't need to happen. But it is. He's going to go into Lambeau Field. And the Packers struggled last weekend against the Vikings. But overall, this defense has been strong, ranked in the top 5 this season in terms of points given up. And I think the Packers get it done again. I'm going to take the Packers on the money line. And I'm also going to do a little reverse action here. Packers minus 2.5. I'd go all the way up to minus 5.5 for plus money.
Yeah, Joe. Matthew Stafford, 3-7 lifetime at Lambeau, and 7-13 lifetime against the Packers. So it's not like they haven't seen him before.
Absolutely. And this is a hard place for teams to go in and win. I'm going to have to go with you, Shane, here. I think there's been too much media bringing the attention to Rodgers' toe that's fractured and that he's going to have mobility issues. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're playing that up completely. And this Rams team, you guys are right. They have been struggling. The only thing is they know that if they get the pressure on Rodgers, that will fluster Rodgers, and they're very good at doing that. But I don't see it, not here in Lambeau. If this was in LA, maybe the Rams would have a chance, but give me the Packers plus the points.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's numbers career-wise are not bad at Lambeau Field. He's got 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. It just shows you, garbage time, how valuable that can be to your statistics, because, a lot of people, a lot of the opinion was, oh, when the Rams have Stafford, they're going to win the whole thing. It's like, this guy's not a proven winner, and it's like that. It's kind of like goes back to the Mac Jones, draft choice for the Patriots. It's like, this guy's a proven winner, and Matthew Stafford is not that. He's a proven guy that makes the bad mistake, is what he is, and he was that way at Georgia. He's got a rocket arm. It makes up for a lot. But, you know, he makes that mistake that cost teams games. He did it in Detroit, and we've seen him do it here in L.A. That game against the Titans, that throw out of the end zone, you know, that interception, that was the ball game. And it's all on Stafford. So it'll be interesting to see what he does here at Lambeau, where, you know, it hasn't been very kind to him. You know, I believe one of those games was the one where Crosby missed all those field goals, was one of those wins. And, you know, those happen. But what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, I got a couple different packages today. I got a 3-pack of just NFL, or I have a 5-pack, and it's got 2 NFL, 2 college basketball, 1 NBA. Or I've got another 3-pack that's just 3 college basketball plays. So hop on one of those or hop on something long term.
Is Minnesota still partying over that Axe win yesterday?
Yeah, that was amazing. You know, now all the critics are saying, well, if the Gophers would have won against, you know, Illinois a few weeks back, you'd be playing in the Big Ten championship game, or if Nebraska would have beat Iowa, which it sucks. But I mean, in all honesty, in 15 years, when they look back on it, they're gonna look back on us winning the Axe.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
They're not gonna look back on us losing to Michigan in the Big Ten championship game.
That was, you know, they've had some good wins under Fleck, but that was the biggest, you know, so far. You know, winning the Axe, and it's like, you know, I go over it and I try to explain it to people, but these are the games, you know. These are the games. You go 1-11, and you know, that's the one. You take it, you know. You take it.
Right.
You know, I mean, obviously you want to win them all. You want to beat the Bowling Greens of the world, but you know, at the same time, it's you know, you take it.
And for all the heat Fleck, you know, Gophers fans honestly aren't still sold on Fleck. There's some that absolutely hate him. But when you look down on 2 of the last 4 years, the Gophers have taken home the Axe. You know, and then we've done it one time in the last 18 before that. So, you know, he's winning the rivalry games, which is what counts.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is that, you know, Minnesota is not the easiest recruiting spot. We've seen, you know, plenty of coaches fall flat on their face in Minnesota over the years, and so it's never been the recruiting mecca that some of these other Big Ten schools are. They're not going to get the recruits that Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Michigan are going to get either, you know, for that part. So he does the best. He does a lot with less. We saw him do the same thing at Western Michigan, you know, when he built that powerhouse. And, you know, the thing is that he's done a really good job. He was missing his best player the entire season, who, you know, is coming back next year for another season. And, you know, I think, you know, they might be disenchanted with him or whatever, but I think, you know, there's 90 colleges out there that would take him.
Right. Well, and some of the recruiting wins he's had has been something we're not used to up here in Minnesota, like the defensive back who had the interception yesterday. You know, his brother plays at Mississippi State. He's from Mississippi, and somehow he got him to come up to Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean,
like in the freezing cold. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you get the guys to buy into your system and what you're building, and you know, that's where it all starts. You know, we saw it in Miami when Howard Schellenberger took over, and it's like you get the guys to buy in, you get them to come, and you know, good things will happen. I think playing time. You know, when you can sell guys playing time, that's a big piece of it too. But anyways, thanks for joining us, and of course, we will see you next week as well as on the drive-through during the week.
Sounds good. Have a good week, guys.
Thank you. Shane
Thanks,
Mickle.
Shane.
I like doing this show because, like, part of the thing that I really like about this show, and it's not, you know, we just started doing it this season, is like I don't get to talk to the guys much. You know, it's like I know we have the Become a Capper contest, and when people come on board, I kind of, you know, I talk to them and I kind of help them through the ropes at very first, but even sometimes very little with that. So it's like this is the one opportunity where we kind of get to talk to everybody, right? It's kind of like this is our, you know, living room where we all get together and talk about games and, you know, just talk about whatever, where it's not, you know, oh, you know, this is graded wrong or this is graded right and this, you know, this is this and I doubled this and, you know, it's like, well, it's not a problem, right? It's kind of like, it's all good, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love these weekend shows.
You know, so it's fun. It's good to get to see everybody and to talk to everybody too. So let's see who we got left in the green room. We got a full room here, man.
We do.
Anyone want to go next? Hold your hand up.
Look at those arms flying up.
Jovan has been here a while. We'll put him in next then. All right, he's been here since the beginning. He's like, let's see where we're at. Eventually, I'll have to get somebody else to work the controls for me. I've been saying that, I think, since day one, since like the first live show. But it's all right. At least I have everybody in order, so it's a lot quicker than it was. Jovan, welcome to the show.
Good morning. What's going on?
Just
Joe. Hello.
Hey, Jovan, how's it going?
All right.
You excited for today's card?
Yeah, it's another NFL Sunday. What's there not to be excited about?
Absolutely, I'm with you. It's gonna be a fun day.
I don't like the NFL as much as I like college. Everybody knows that, man. Crystal clear about it, and everything. But I know most people prefer the NFL. It's like they just do. And I think a lot of it has to do with where you went to school, where you're from, and all that other stuff. Like Jovan's from the Northeast, and they don't really they have Boston College, but they're still Boston College isn't like the team of the city. Up until recently, the Celtics owned Boston. And then the Red Sox kind of have their hardcore followers. And, the Patriots have always been the Patriots, but it's never, up until, recently, it was never really like a football town, it was always the Celtics, and the Bruins. Oh man, the Bruins too. It's like highly competitive,
Yeah, but Boston's, historically a hockey town.
Yeah.
The Celtics, they have, when they're good, they have their run. Red Sox, when the Red Sox are rolling, it's a Red Sox town. And then, when the Patriots have basically owned the city for the past 2 decades, basically, because they've been winning so much, so that's how it falls. But it's really a hockey town, because once the Bruins start rolling, oh God, the rabid fans, they get crazy.
They do. When I lived in Boston, they had the old Boston Garden, and it was just a different place. It was like, I had grown up watching it on TV, and to actually go watch regular games there, was crazy. It was like the seating was like so steep, right? It was like this, and if you sat if you sat in the lower deck and you were too high, you kind of had to duck down to see underneath the stands. It was probably the worst design, and there were seats there directly behind a pole, behind a pole.
Yeah,
crazy.
Same thing as Fenway Park.
Yep. I used to sit in the bleachers at Fenway Park. That's where I always sat. If you look at Roger Clemens' 20 strikeout game, I'm sitting in the front row of the bleachers. There was nobody there. It was against Seattle. There was nobody
right
there.
Yep, absolutely.
But anyways, what do you got going on today for a free pick?
Yeah, so we're gonna go to Mile High Stadium. Check out this Chargers versus Broncos game. Now, the Chargers put up 41 points last week, and immediately after that, you have the media and the general public, like Bitler says, humping up on the Chargers. Because it's like people are waiting for them to be a popular team, a team that's just gonna roll. And I get it. They got the hot new stud, Justin Herbert. And, he has a bunch of toys, to throw to and to hand the ball off to, and also, have a pretty talented defense. They're a talented team as far as players go. But, this team is just the middle of the road. It's 6-4, 5-5 against the spread. And they haven't won 2 straight games in the last 6 weeks. Now they have to go to Denver with the top 10 defense, who's coming off a bye. And, when they play in Denver, it doesn't really fare so well. They're 1-3-1 against the spread in the last 5. And the underdog is 5-2-1 in the last 8 games of this series. Denver, pretty pedestrian offense. But the one thing you're not going to catch on Teddy Bridgewater doing is, just making silly mistakes. He's not going to, press the issue. He's going to hand the ball off taking shots down the field when needed. He has talent, Jerry Jeudy and company, so, and like I said, have that top 10 defense because it's going to put pressure on Justin Herbert, rushing the quarterback. And, I just expect this to be a game where it's going to be very close. Denver might take it, and I expect the home team to cover. Give me that home dog.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater did make one stupid mistake when he decommitted from Miami and then signed with Louisville. But
good point,
Joe. I know
couldn't take the pressure.
I know where you stand with the Chargers, Joe.
Well, you do, and I know why Jovan came on and said hi to me first because he heard I like take favorites. And but no hard feelings here, Jovan. I think this is going to be an under game because you're right. The Denver Broncos defense is strong, and I think they're going to try to control the clock, keep Justin Herbert off the field today, and give him as much pressure as they can on the defensive side. So I like this under. The Broncos are 4-0 in their last 4 games to that under. I think the Chargers come out and get a win, but again, this is a rivalry game. This is a hard game. They're in Denver, so it's not going to be a cakewalk for the Chargers today to do it.
Saw an interesting thing on one of the shows this morning as I was, getting everything together. I just leave the TV on, it's kind of running in the background. But one of the things that I heard is that in games that Jerry Jeudy plays, Cortland Sutton's stats drop dramatically. Take all the unders in any Cortland Sutton prop bets today. And because Jeudy will be playing, so it makes sense. But anyways, I think this is going to be a good one. I don't have a premium pick on it, but I kind of like the Chargers here on the road against the Broncos. I don't know, the Broncos it just seems like they played really well at the beginning. They're 5 both these teams are 5-5, right? So it's like the Broncos were 3-0 to start the season, so that means they were 2-5 over their last 7. I know that Denver's always a tough place to play, but the Chargers just aren't losing those games the way that they used to. Now that it's like the games are losing, they're getting,
don't jinx them.
They're getting. Well, we saw last week them win a game that that they normally would lose. So
yeah. Oh, I know, and that's where I'm at with my Chargers. I just can't say they're not losing like they used to because that's when they come out and do it.
I have to say the worst Chargers loss ever was that game against the Jets in the playoffs. That's probably the worst Charger loss they ever had. That John Carter.
Or the one against the Patriots when Gates was still in. Wild card, I believe it was.
I was at their best win in team history, the Dolphin game. The one where they came back. Or the Dolphins came back. It was 24-0 Chargers, and then the Dolphins came back. Yeah. The Kellen Winslow game, the longest game in NFL history.
Wow. Would have been a good one to be at.
If you ever watch the old NFL films, I'm in the corner where Joe Rose catches a touchdown. I was just happening to walk.
Really?
It was right after the start of the second half, and I was just walking back to my seats. And in the old Orange Bowl, the end zone was open, so there was no stands in that side. So you have to walk across the actual field to get to your seat. And I'm with 3 of my friends. We're walking right there, and Joe Rose catches a pass right in the corner of the end zone, right in front of us.
No way!
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, way cool. We see it all the time. There's like growing up in a place where you had winning teams and big games all the time, like those big games and playoff games and stuff. It's like it's amazing how many times you land on TV in those really big moments. It's like when Miami beat Nebraska for the national championship. My friend Mike is patting Howard Schnellenberger on the back with the big number 1 hand. It's awesome, It's like we had a bet that we made before the game. Whoever pats Howard on the back, they're 18-point dogs. So it was like, we were acting like we were already going to win. And it's like, when we win, whoever pats Howard on the back, everyone's got to buy him a case of beer. And my friend Mike is like, I did it. And it's like, we're all like, no way. There were state troopers all around him. There's no way he can get there. He's like, I'm telling you, I did it. And we taped the game on Betamax. That's how long ago it was. You see him, and then on the front page of the Miami Herald the next morning, it's Howard Schnellenberger shaking hands with Tom Osborne, and my friend Mike patting Howard on the back, holding up the big number 1 hand. This is awesome. But anyways, Jovan, what are you selling today at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, I got a couple different packages. First off, got my Show Me the Money NFL Sunday 5-pack, 5 NFL plays that I particularly like that I feel is going to cash. Then I have my Shut 'em Down Sunday 5-pack. mainly basketball, college basketball, 2 NBA plays, and a bonus NFL pick. One of those late breaking games where I just had an epiphany. I was like, okay, yeah, I see the vision. Put that on as a bonus pick, but I put it as a 5-pack with with those basketball plays. So just 2 5-packs, ready to rock. Or if you want all those, check out one of my longer term packages.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week here on the show as well as on the drive-thru during the week.
Absolutely, you know it.
Best of luck, Jovan, today.
Jovan Burt's another guy
right.
we got from a Become a Capper contest. So we've had a lot, we've got a few guys, different people get here different ways, and none of them get here by saying, your guys suck, I'm better than all of them. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It's like, though people send me emails every day saying that, it's like, and then they wonder why I won't hire them,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I never really understand it. I'm just looking.
I don't understand that either. Not one bit.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
But I'm looking up something real quick before we get there. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna bring in Big Al next. Let's see. So Big Al coming off of the big win. Of course, he's a Michigan alum. So the gorilla off the back for Jim Harbaugh for Michigan, and pretty much for that entire community. But
absolutely, congratulations.
I texted with Al during the day, and he actually had one of the better picks that you'll ever see, and that was Louisiana Monroe yesterday.
Oh wow!
That was against Louisiana. Losers 21-16 on the field, but winners as a road dog, right, in that series. Is that what it was? That the thing?
Yeah, the road underdog in that series is now 17-0 ATS, and then if you take the road team out to -4, it's 19-0 ATS.
That's what you pay for, right there.
Absolutely. Well, huge congratulations on Michigan too, Al.
Oh, I was on the field, Joe. I had everything to do with it.
Whatever it's team efforts, whatever it takes.
Yeah, Michigan was inspired by me cheering, 3,000 miles away. But
how emotional was it as a Michigan fan?
It wasn't.
It wasn't?
I mean, but I'm 55 years old and I could give a shit. So, it's
okay, but
I'm not the Michigan fan to ask.
Okay, because me as a Ohio State fan, watching Michigan, watching the emotions out of Michigan, it brought a tear to my eye. I was happy for Michigan, and I don't like Michigan, so I thought it was a great game. It didn't go the way I wanted, but congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so far past it as far as all that stuff because I don't get too emotional. The only team I really care about in the world is the San Antonio Spurs, but outside of San Antonio, I don't give a toss about any of that stuff.
But
okay.
Yeah, it was a great day of college football. It was a good season. It was a fun season. It was a good way, to have the fans. To me, having the fans back in the stands for that weekend, was everything. It's just.
So the craziest thing about yesterday was I actually left the house, thinking Auburn had won that game. I didn't find out for probably 10 or 12 hours that they didn't win. I just assumed they were running out the clock, and then you find out that poor sap didn't run out of bounds.
I think you can say that, that he didn't run out of bounds and didn't burn that 40 seconds, but you know what? You want to beat Alabama, say you leave Saban 40 seconds less than that. You still got it. You still got to stop him. And it's like they had every time.
And they would have if they had. I know, but that 40 seconds was determinative. That's just crazy. I mean, and if you're an Auburn fan, I went to high school with a guy who was from Auburn, and if you're an Auburn fan, oh my gosh, you have to live with that.
Oh, I understand.
That's a nightmare.
I understand, but I thought that I always look at it that it's like. They had a million other chances to beat them, They had a million other chances, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting if Alabama goes on to win the national championship, if that one play was the reason why.
Well, I was texting with yesterday and I said I'm going to put Georgia in right now at -4, and now it's 6. So I'm glad I got that in, but I unfortunately didn't hit it probably hard enough. But I think generally those games, especially between those two teams, we've seen it in the championship game and when they played in the national championship final, super tight. It's once again, now you're back to Saban against his assistants, which he does extremely well against. So, what do you got going on today?
Well, over at Pick Dogs today, I'll get to what I have going on today in a little bit. I just want to talk about a couple games. I want to take a look at the Indianapolis Colts game first. I don't know if you recall, Mitch, but we talked way back when at the start of the season about how difficult the Colts' opening schedule was. They were saddled with the most difficult schedule in the league. They had 5 playoff opponents from the previous season to start, so it wasn't too much of a surprise that they started 1-4. Then their schedule softened a bit, and they've come out of it terrific. They're now 6-5. They had 2 really tough games lately. Also, they went in and won on the road at the 49ers and at the Bills, 2 very difficult venues to win. So now you've got a Colts team that's 6-5, and they're installed as a home underdog in this game. And when you look at game 12 forward, so the last stage of the season, if you can get a home underdog that's within 1 game of 500, either way, whether it's 1 game below, whether they're exactly 500 or 1 game above, these home underdogs, because now those teams are competing for a playoff spot, right? With that kind of record, 1 game below or 1 game above or exactly 500. These home dogs have gone 107 and 67 ATS from game 12 forward. So this is, I think, a really good spot to look at the Indianapolis Colts. And then they're also playing the defending Super Bowl champions. And I had Tampa Bay on Monday, and they blew out the Giants by 20 points. Well, defending Super Bowl champions off 20-point or better wins are really bad as road favorites. I think it's now currently 19-34 ATS the last 53. So you put those 2 things together, and I do like Indianapolis plus the points here.
Joe, this one should be a good one.
This should be a great one. I'm completely with you, Al. I think this is a great play, taking the Colts plus the points. They're 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 as an underdog, and I think they're going to play the Bucs really hard today. They've got really similar defenses here, and there's not much difference in their offenses either, scoring-wise. I think the Colts will play another keep Brady off the game kind of field, and I think they definitely get the cover, if not the straight-up win.
Yeah, the Colts have played tough. The issue that I have here with this game, I think it's going to be tight, and I think the points are good. I think the issue I have with the Colts on the outright is Carson Wentz, and is he able to pull it off against a guy that, you give him a minute and 20 seconds or, 40 seconds, and it really isn't going to matter. He can be either way. I think it's just going to be a tight game, but I like a low-scoring game here, so points are definitely going to be at a premium. I just think that both these quarterbacks are susceptible to the bull rush up the middle, and both these teams have that good center line push on the defensive side of the ball with Buckner and company on the Colts side, and then the Bucs just basically the all-star team from the last 5 years, just there as well. So should be a good one. You haven't?
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
I'm going to be excited to watch that game. And also this other game I want to talk about, the Packers-Rams. I heard Shane talk about the side. I just want to talk about the total in this game. Both teams coming off upset losses. Both teams gave up a lot of points in that upset loss, 28 or more points. And when you get that kind of situation, it's usually a good recipe for taking the under. The Rams under McVay, I think we've talked about it before, they do really well straight up, or ATS, off a straight up loss. They also go under off a loss. They're 14-9 under off a straight up loss, including 11-2 under their last 13. I think this is going to be a really, kind of playoff type atmosphere, defensive ball game. And I do like this ball game to go under the total. I know the numbers come down a bit. It opened 50, now it's down to 47. Probably because of the doubt about the turf toe, et cetera. But I would take it under the 47.
Joe?
Well, I love that I agree with you on another play here. Completely, Al. I think the under is a great play for this one. The under has hit in 4 of the Rams' last 6 and 7 of the Packers' last 8 games. So, yeah, definitely give me that under as well.
Yeah, another situational thing in this ball game. When you get 2 teams with really good records, so say 571 or above, and both of those teams are off losses, those games tend to go under the total as well, 64 and 44 to the under, including, and this is the key part, 33 and 15 under the total if it's a competitively priced ball game with a point spread of 3 points or less. So you've got 2 great teams, both off losses, in a win situation game, as we call it, when a game is priced from +3 to -3. So those games tend to be low scoring, and I do like this under.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think that a lot of settling for field goals as well here, and should be a good game. Not a lot of late games today. Joe and I have to. We do the half times, and it's like that late halftime spot is rough because the games don't start at the same time, so it could be a very long show with not a lot of material.
And tell some knock jokes or something in between.
It's like we get there. We try and start like halfway through the halftime of the first show to try and at least make it through. But there's always those 10 comments that we get like before the games go to the half and the other game is not at the half anymore. Where it's like, so what are the picks? It's like, well, there's no lines, so there can't be any, But what?
Yeah, I was just my daughter was telling a knock joke to some Hollywood actor last weekend. we were walking on the street, so that's where my mind wandered. Just now trying to remember what the knock joke was that she told that actor. Oh boy,
that's good.
Anyway,
I like it.
Now I just remembered it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, knock.
Who's there?
Ach.
Achu.
Good.
As soon as I said it, I was like,
right. Anyway,
I like it.
Yeah, that's what it's a 6-year-old joke, right? So today over at Pick Dogs Premium, it's a small card. Yesterday was a big card. Today's a small card. Yesterday we did go 11-5. So thanks a lot to all who joined. We cashed our Big Ten Conference Game of the Year on Michigan and our NBA Game of the Month on the Utah Jazz against New Orleans. Today, not a ton out there for me, but I do have a triple pack in the NFL. I also have 2 standalone games in the NFL, including my NFC conference favorite of the month. And then I've got 1 college basketball play. Yesterday we did go 4-2 in college basketball. The previous day 4-0 in college, so 8-2 the past 2 days on the NCAA hardwood. So just 6 plays total today, 5 in the NFL, 1 in college. And I would love it if folks can jump on board for the 7-day or 30-day packages, and also to team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs.
All right. Well, Al, as always, thanks for joining us. We will see you here next week, and of course during the week on the drive-through show.
I will see you on Saturday and on Wednesday and Thursday.
Thanks, Al. Enjoy your day.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Good luck to you guys.
Big Al coming off of a big win for the Michigan Wolverines yesterday. Next up, we've got Chris Ruffalo. Chris has been helping me out doing the videos at Pick Dogs, kind of moving Chris around a little bit, and not so easy to do physically, but virtually a lot easier to do. And we're getting it done. I think Chris is kind of finding his way with all this stuff. I know. So true story. Chris is like, had to move Chris off the soccer because it's like it's too much. Chris is so. People say, "Oh, I know you work so hard and you do a lot of work." Well, think about this, okay? Chris is doing hockey videos with Rod. He's doing the drive-through 5 days a week with Tony T. He's writing 300 to 400 articles a month at Sports Chat Place, right? And at Pick Dogs. Then on top of that, he's doing the soccer videos with Ashley and Gordon, and then he's doing college basketball videos on top of that. So that's how much he does. So I took him off the soccer videos, trying to move things around. Chris feels like he's been demoted because I gave him the Gonzaga Duke game in college basketball instead. I don't know. You tell me. It's like, I'm like, he's like, I feel like I've done something wrong. I'm like, yeah, that's why I gave you Gonzaga Duke. You know, it's like, I don't know, man. It's, you know, but, I think, Joe knows, Joe works with me all day, every day. So she knows it's like being spread thin like this.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, it's, trust me, it all comes together. But Chris, I appreciate you doing the college hoops with me this year. I've normally something, at all of the videos, since we've started Pick Dogs, I've done them all myself outside of the hockey videos. So, like, having somebody else and splitting a sport with someone is the first time I've ever done it. And it's like, I'm hoping that this bleeds into other sports, into the NBA, into, baseball, with not just you, but with other people as well, So it's like, you got to start somewhere. And it's like the fact that, we have Chris first, is the first one helping with this. It's like, that's actually, the opposite. It's like you're the first one I reached out to help.
No, and I appreciate it. And for the record, that conversation happened before I realized that I had Gonzaga Duke, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, all's forgiven. Never mind. Forget I even said anything. But no, you know what? It's the only time I'll ever really want to be spread thin, and take that as you will. But no, you know what? I enjoy what I'm doing, and I think that's what's key for everybody here at Sports Chat Plays and Pick Dogs, is that we love what we do. And I think more and more we're starting to see that shows. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite shows I ever did was our March Madness bracket preview show last year. And I think just getting to do college hoops videos now is just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, even I'm at the point now where I'm taking a step back. It's like, I'm spread too thin, and it's like I got to, it's like when I started, Pick Dogs, we didn't know where we were going. We didn't know if we were going to get Sports Shot back. We didn't know what was going to happen. And, we kind of just started barreling ahead. And meanwhile, we went from 6 or 7 people to 80. And I haven't taken a step back to even take a look at that whole scope of where we're at. And it's not just people that you guys see. We have a whole crew behind the scenes, like those little thumbnails that are on the videos. Those don't just happen, YouTube doesn't just give us those, We have somebody that does that and all this other stuff, the way the website stays on and things move around. And then we have, now the guys in Australia doing all the betting tools and everything. And it's like, we're going to be over 100 people. And, I can't do all that and do, every video. But we're excited about everything going on here. And, of course, I'm excited about the new soccer show live. Chris will be hosting our weekend soccer show, which I think is a good spot for him. He'll just be hosting on the weekends. Joe will be hosting during the week, at least to start. And that's with Ashley and Goran. You guys have seen them on the videos. They're a home run. So if you haven't seen our soccer videos, football, soccer, however you want to call it, well, you'll see more of it. And I think the nice thing about the soccer picks is that they win a lot of games. Right, that's the best part. Is that they win a ton. It's like you don't need to know anything. It's kind of like that's the whole idea of a handicap, right? It's kind of like they do the winning for you, Yeah,
they do the heavy lifting. You just got to be there to place the bet.
Yeah, and it's like that's what they do with those soccer picks. That I think Ashley was like 47-1 yesterday or something.
I will say, everybody who's watched the videos, you guys know how Gord is, and Ashley is right up on that level with her. I can tell you, just from doing the first sets of videos, this lady knows her stuff. So definitely, these are live shows and videos you guys are going to want to check out. Even if you haven't bet soccer before, it's a good place to start.
Well, what do you got going on for NFL pick for us today?
Well, today I'm taking a look at a game I actually had to do a couple double takes on, but I'm looking at the Minnesota Vikings and San Francisco 49ers matchup, and I know a lot of optics were on the Vikings win over the Packers last week, snapping that Packers, cover streak and win streak. And, you know, everybody's like, okay, well, it's a very public win, and maybe it's time to jump off. But I think it's the opposite. I think it's time to jump on, because I think the Vikings know that this is where the start has to start somewhere to go to make a push for the playoffs. And, you know, it's just side by side with San Francisco 49ers. I just like the Vikings better. I mean, if you put me side by side, would I rather have Kirk Cousins or Jimmy G? I'd probably take Kirk Cousins. Dalvin Cook or the Niners running back staff. Elijah Mitchell's a good running back, but I'm still taking Dalvin Cook. I'll take Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen over, you know, Deebo Samuel and the rest of the receiving core for the Niners. Probably give the edge to the Niners for a tight end for George Kittle. But again, outside of that, I give the Vikings either an edge or a coin flip against the rest of the positions against the 49ers. We're getting 3 points here, but or maybe 3.5. I haven't seen the line over the last hour or so, but I think we're getting value with the Vikings on the money line in this one. I think they win this one outright, so that's why I'm going to be on this one. I'm going to take the Vikings on the money line here.
Joe, that 49ers defense just disintegrates at home this season. They have been absolutely hideous at Levi's Stadium as far as the defense goes. They're up against Kirk Cousins, who generally struggles, but he's got a lot of weapons.
Absolutely. And Kirk Cousins is underrated. The one thing that scares me, I am scared about this game, no premium picks on it, you guys, is the Vikings are 1-10 in their last 11 road games against the 49ers. I think the 49ers probably have the edge in this. I'm opposite, Chris. I would take Jimmy G over Kirk Cousins. I know both of these quarterbacks. I think Kirk Cousins is underrated, but his ability to just lose it at times is more, I think, than Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is just consistently not good this season, where Kirk Cousins, that he comes out, you expect him to be able to do something and he just doesn't get it done. I think the defense for the 49ers needs to really step up here at home, come back in a good game and put the pressure on Kirk Cousins and make him make those mistakes. So I'm not betting this one, but if I had to take a side, I'd take the 49ers minus the points.
I'd take Jared Goff over Jimmy Garoppolo. He stinks. I believe he's one of the bottom 2 to 3 quarterbacks in the entire NFL. I think when you have a starting quarterback that you traded up pretty big to get from the Patriots, and then you trade up in the NFL draft to the number 4 position overall in the draft to take a quarterback, it pretty much says everything about this quarterback and where he fits into your organization and where you feel his skill set is. And these guys pretty much know because they're spending a lot of money on this stuff. I think, just as, anyone else that talks about a trend on the show and, they've beaten them this time and this time. Well, the thing is that they've only played 10 times since 2006. They haven't played since January of 2020. That was a playoff game where the 49ers beat the Vikings. But the thing is that you go back and, these meetings in San Francisco. So if you look back at the last 10 games, and I'm looking back to 2006 at this point, 3 of those games were in Minnesota. So we're going to go back to pre-2006 to get to 11 games on a home win trend. So just not sure the relevance, because now we're talking the Joe Montana, Steve Young teams. And I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a different
And no one's going to beat those guys. No one did. No. Right? So, I don't know. I hate Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance I like even less. And, Kirk Cousins, for all of his faults. I think the Vikings have played just rock solid on the road this season. They've been very, very tight. Chip shot loss on a field goal to the Cardinals. They missed a chip shot field goal. They had the game won in Arizona. They had the Bengals dead to rights in Cincinnati, lost in overtime there. I don't know. Here's a team that gives up a ton of yards and a ton of points at home. You got Jordan Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, breathing down your neck. I love the over. I like over 100 in this one. This will be the highest scoring game of the day.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Other than that, I agree with you, Joe.
Other than not agreeing with you.
Don't worry, you're still Brian's favorite capper.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
You're our favorite capper, too.
Thanks, Mitch.
You're my favorite co-host.
Oh, appreciate it.
Chris, what are you selling today?
It's okay. I'll find a way to finish 4th in a 3-person race. But
well, you were here. You're here.
That's true.
We could have accidentally disconnected you.
For today, I got a couple of 3-packs. I got an NFL 3-pack or a NBA college hoops combo 3-pack. Both of those $29.95 over at the website. Or like I always say, these are the best times to take advantage of that long-term pass because it's the best value. You're going to get all these sports that are bleeding together, and these are when the schedules are starting to get their biggest. So definitely check that out over at Pick Dogs Premium. Also going to have a bowl pass for college football coming up very, very soon. So definitely take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for joining us. And, of course, we look forward to seeing more videos out of you. Probably have a guest on my morning show from time to time if you're awake by then, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And we know what happens. Like you open the door, Ruffalo, he's the thing that wouldn't leave. It's like, do you have any more dip? It's like,
I come in, there wasn't even dip on the table. I'm like, hey, you got any more? It's like all smeared around the face.
There's an old bit on Saturday Night Live. It's the thing that wouldn't leave. It's like, it's John Belushi. He's like, let me make a few long distance phone calls.
It's like I turn my head to the side and it zooms in on my face. It's just like, you have any more dip? And then it's like, oh, now he won't leave for sure.
Anyways, Chris, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow on the drive-thru.
Sounds good. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, Chris.
Chris Ruffalo, of course, we are just weeks away from Ruffalo Day, and that, of course, is one of the fine days of the year. Got Rod Zawacki with us next, and let's see. We'll limit my Gonzaga jokes today. Rod, not burning hats anymore. He's going to burn my house down, I think. might have crossed the line there. Let's see, we got him in. It's like, all right. Rod, welcome to the show, as always. How you doing today?
Welcome. Better than what I was yesterday. That's what I'm way better today. It was one of those days, and hey, I didn't mean to snap. It's just one of those things. And no, I'm not going to burn Gonzaga.
I have that.
Yeah,
I have
they
that
lost one.
I have that effect on people.
Make people want to burn the house down. There you go.
It's a gift.
I've never been one to be a pyro that I want to burn stuff up. So I'm not one for like, yeah, let's set fire.
Maybe not burn it, blow it up.
You got to see my.
Don't get me tempted. Now we might want to blow things up. Blowing things up is a different story. Who doesn't
It's a good
love
Canadian thing to do. Yeah.
Right? Let's see how much we can blow it up.
We've got a lot of games on tap today. Of course, we got our premium and VIP shows on the way as well. What do you got for us for a free pick in the NFL?
Free pick, I think you guys have covered everything. So for me, I'm going to go with the total in a divisional game here. I'm going to take the Eagles and Giants. We're going to go with the under in this one. You look at the Eagles off of a 40-point blowout game. And they've been racking up the points, but I think this Giants defense is for real going to hold them down here. You look at the Eagles, they're 5-0 to the under in their last 5 road games. They're also 10-2 in their last 12 in November to the under. You look at the Giants, they are 7-0-1 to the under in their last 8 games as a home dog. And the last 5 meetings between these two, all 4-1 to the under. You look at the Giants D, I think they'll be able to hold these Eagles down so they're not scoring 40, that's for sure. And both these anemic offenses, I think we just sneak under the total in this one, 45.5. Give me the under.
Joe, 2 lousy teams that hate each other's guts. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with that under as well. We look at these 2 teams. No one is going to blow each other out of the water here. I think both defenses step up in a hard-fought trenches kind of battle. So I hate taking the unders, especially at 45.5, but I can't take this one over it. It's not going to go over.
Joe hates taking unders, but I hate taking the Giants, but I got to take them here with the points. Eagles 1-4 against the number in the last 5 meetings. The dog owns the series, and you're getting better than a field goal with the home dog in a rivalry game. Got to go with the Giants in this one for me. So I think it'll probably be a low-scoring, sloppy, turnover-ridden game that comes down to like a 2-point game in typical Giants fashion.
Absolutely.
So it's not one of those typical Eagles long bombs or something.
Oh, God. And then go for 2 in a meaningless situation. Right? What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
For me, over Pick Dogs, Gridiron's been treating us good. We went 4-0-1 yesterday in our college hoops, or our college football. We've got a nice run in college football at the end of the season off there. So I got a 6-pack over at Pick Dogs Premium of Gridiron Place in the NFL. You can pick that up over at Pick Dogs Premium. Or I have a 3-pack of college hoops that I absolutely love in a separate package as well. Plus, I also have one NHL for long-term clients. Or if you're a part of the VIP, I'll be giving that one out on the VIP. So click the link below and join the VIP. You'll get that play there as well. So jump aboard.
So we have a comment here in the comments that says, I still haven't got my number for Become a Capper contest. I sent a DM as well. What's up with the numbers? Where are we at?
Yeah, so there will be another post out tonight on Instagram for those once the Excel sheet is updated. And I've let everyone know who has sent those DMs to Pick Dogs IG and my personal IG. That's what's happening. So if you missed that, you must have DM'd earlier today because as of last night, everyone was responded to.
And I'm going to get a link. We're going to get a link up there so you can go check out because this is just going to continue in the next 3 days. As soon as this contest starts, I'm going to get DMs from people going, "Excuse me, where's the leaderboard? When's the leaderboard coming out? When's the leaderboard coming out?" So I'm going to get make sure that there's a post up there.
Those would be my DMs.
So we're going to get a post up there that be tagged to the top of the page at Pick Dogs at Twitter and Instagram. That'll give you a link where you can click on that link and you can go in there. You can find your name. You'll be able to find your number. You'll be able to find the rankings, and all that will be right there easily for people to find.
We'll have that link on the live show as well.
That way we're not trying to answer any people. I don't have to answer DMs. We're looking for a number. Where's my picks? Where do I put the picks? It's right there. If you just click the link, it'll give you all the number, everybody's. It'll give your name, your number, and where you rank in the leaderboard as well. It's very easy to click a link in there.
We'll have that.
Let's do that.
We'll have that link as well on our live shows. We'll have a link. Joe and I will do probably a couple more videos over the next couple of days.
And
advertising.
I want to let people know on IG, you have to copy and paste that link. Please don't DM us 100 times saying the link doesn't work. You have to copy and paste it out of IG into your browser.
Yeah, if you can't copy and paste the link, more than likely, probably not going to last working with me. You have to be able to do the things that are doable. You have to be able to do yourself because I'm not going to sit here like these other people. I work so hard. I know you go to some other sites and talk to some other people if you want to hear people whining about how hard they work and all that stuff. But I will say, I don't have a ton of patience for stuff like that. I don't. I'm patient with other stuff, but that's not stuff that's simple, like copying and pasting or something like that. I don't have a lot of patience for, and I'm telling you, while we are a team, there's a lot of independent work that goes, with being a handicapper too, and we're not, why other sites don't hire people that don't have experience? It's because they don't want to deal with this stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, you guys just follow the instructions.
But the reason why the numbers haven't completely been updated because I made a boo-boo. So that's exactly what happened. I put a bunch of people that were on Instagram over in the Twitter list, but that's too easy for me to go back to see where it was. Copy, paste, and move those people back over to the Instagram, which I will be doing this afternoon. So by tonight sometime, it should be ready to go.
It's going to be fun. I think
everybody should have access to get your numbers.
We've changed the rules a little bit, and I'll modify those on the site. So for every day, if you want to enter the contest late and you miss the beginning of the contest, it's going to be minus 200 and not minus 100. This way, if you're 5 days late, you're minus 1,000. And if the first place person already is at 1,000, well, you're going to be eliminated because you'll be 2,000 out of the lead. So I think, I think we've given everybody pretty fair warning. I've mentioned it in every video I've done. We've mentioned it on every show. We've done it, and Joe's done numerous posts. But I'm excited for the contest. We got the turnout that I hoped we would get. I think, you see other people run contests and like 4 people enter or something. We have hundreds and hundreds that are in this contest, and I'm looking forward to meeting the next new cappers, and I know there's some great cappers out there. I will say last time, I hired a guy that did not win as well. And, I'll be looking for that wild card, person. It's like maybe, you didn't win, but maybe you were good and you were consistent and all those things that we look for. And, I own the company, so I'm allowed to make these. I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want. So.
Absolutely, you are.
And that goes the same.
So no one tell Mitch any different. It's not going to go well.
And it goes
for you.
the same thing. We have out in the rules as well for people that could win and that we just don't want to work with.
Absolutely.
I everyone that has sent me that nasty email, everyone that has sent me all of those things, I have all that stuff. I remember it. I remember everything. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about college football games that I went to 30 years ago. It's like I remember, and I can tell you specific plays in those games. I remember everything. So it's a blessing and a curse. But it's like if we've had problems in the past, you're not going to come work with me. Not going to happen. We do not want you. We only want good people that fit in with what we are and who we are as a company. And that's just the way it is. Yeah. Anyways, thanks, Rod, for joining us. We'll see you in a couple minutes for the VIP and the premium show. Where am I?
See you soon, Rod.
Here I am. All right.
Thank you.
Our Twitter and Instagram is right down here. Oh, it's here. Anyways, here it is. It's right there, and that's where you enter the Become a Capper contest is in our Twitter and Instagram accounts. So, yeah, if
the main one.
Yeah, if you've been a jerk. If you've been condescending, if you've sent me an email saying that that I suck or, whatever, no, I don't want to work with you. If you've been a pain in the ass, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have to,
No, you don't. Not at all.
Endless. Speaking of pain in the asses, we got our last guest of the show.
He is not.
I am the king of pain in the asses.
Brian,
oh, you actually own the title. Okay.
Brian prides himself in it. But bring in Brian. Let's see where he's at. Yes, it's like I have everyone in order except for Brian and Rod. Anyways, Brian, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Got a bunch of games we haven't talked about yet. So plenty of
meat hopefully we can get into those too.
Plenty of meat on the bone here. But it was a crazy day yesterday. It was kind of that day, in college football, with all the fans in the stands, and definitely made a difference in a lot of the games. But we got NFL today, and I think probably you've done well in college football over the years, but I think NFL is more your thing. Would you say?
Well, actually, college football normally is more my thing. This year, I'm just barely into the profit area where I should be much better than I have been this season. But it's been a profit year, so if you're not losing money, that's a good thing.
I believe
so hopefully the bowl season.
I think there's usually about 30 bowl games, so plenty more opportunity to turn that into something a lot more.
Yeah, and I actually think that Auburn-Alabama game was an opportunity maybe to bet Alabama, but we'll have to see. I'm going to have to see how that progresses this week. But, because they almost lost that game, and people will be pounding the drum against them. So
it's a little bit different schedule this year for the bowl season. We have a lot more compressed in a shorter amount of time. So, some of these days where we've had 4 or 5 bowl, four bowl games. We now have 6 bowl games. Like on that
should be exciting
Saturday. Like it opens on Friday with the Cure Bowl and the Bahamas Bowl, like it generally does. But then the next Saturday, you got the Boca Raton Bowl, the New Mexico Bowl, the Independence Bowl, the Lending Tree Bowl, the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. What the hell is that? That's a new one. The Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. And then, of course, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl,
no Pick Dogs Bowl,
Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl. Wow, that's. I mean, some of these things, it's like it's normally supposed to be like a great trip for the kids, and like they get the bowl experience somewhere tropical, whatever. It's like, yeah, we're going to Frisco, Texas, or Boise, in the middle of December and late December. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful out there on the blue turf. But a lot of good ones out there too. There always is, and some of these games end up a lot better than it's always like who cares more, you know. But anyways,
Yep.
We care about NFL. What do you got for a free pick for us?
Well, you kind of discussed this in the last segment, but for me, a play that almost made my premium section, and I think it's right up there, is the New York Giants plus the points here. I've been watching the Eagles for close to 40 years, and these games are generally very tight, 3-game contests, and no matter how good either team is, really. The Eagles have won 2 straight, but does anybody really have confidence in the Philadelphia Eagles? They seem to lose these type of games every year. Eagles are 2-5 against the spread, last 7 against the NFC East, and they're 3-9 against the spread, last 12 following an ATS win. So for me, it's Giants plus the points, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line. I've seen the Eagles lose these games many times over the years.
Joe?
Well, I definitely would like to see the Giants come out and get this win here. I don't like the Eagles team. I honestly don't this year. So I'm happy to hear Brian and Mitch, you're both on the Giants to get this win today.
Yeah, we agree. That's a good thing.
It is. It's a very good thing. I'm sticking with Rod with that under 45 and a half. I think this is just going to be a total under game all day long.
100% agree with Rod's pick. I love the under, and I'm not a totals guy, but that under was something I was looking at when I was putting my picks in.
Yeah, I like the Giants in this one plus the points. I mean, that's where I'm at. Went over it, just a second ago.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Kind of where I'm at.
What about these other games you said nobody had discussed?
Well, Texans Jets, and we know those are 2 teams that you like very much, and we've got Steelers Bengals. Nobody went over. Nobody went over the Ravens Browns.
All right, I can give you my take on all of them real quick.
Sure.
I won't be too. For me, I'm going to take as always, I like my JETS Jets. You're getting plus money, plus points here on the road. I think the Texans are equally as bad. I think the Jets have the edge on defense here. You got the rookie quarterback back behind the helm for New York, which I don't know if that's a great thing or not because he has been awful this year. But for me, it's Jets plus the points. I'm going to take the Bengals at home, laying the points against the Steelers. Another chance for the Bengals to show that they're for real in the AFC North and hated rival Steelers. I'm going to lay the points here with the Bengals. And then on Sunday Night Football, I'm going to take the Ravens, lay the points. Just think the Ravens are the better team than the Browns. Browns have a great rushing attack, but I don't trust Mayfield. So for me, give me the Baltimore Ravens, and I'll lay the points on Sunday night.
Please let the Jets win that today. I need this Texans team not to win anything else for the rest of the season for them to have the worst record, but it's not looking hopeful with how terrible the Lions are playing right now. So please let those Jets come out with a nice win today in that one. And then I'm with you. I like the Ravens as well to get a win tonight, but I don't know. Bengals Steelers game, I'm undecided in that one still. I'm not going to have a premium pick in that.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't have a premium pick in the Bengals Ravens, but certainly leaning our Browns Ravens. I'm leaning Browns in that thing. I just think the Ravens, they're not a good covered team in general, and the Browns,
that's true.
Probably a tight one. The Browns really got smoked by the Patriots. But, the Ravens got smoked by the Dolphins. So
Lamar Jackson's such an athlete back there.
Difference maker.
Absolutely. He's really one of those quarterbacks. It's hard to bet against him.
Seeing the Jets-Texans, the line back to 3 from being at 2.5. I like the Texans all the way in that thing. It's more of a play against the Jets.
Texans play better at home.
I don't know what they.
The Jets are bad everywhere, but I think the Jets defense is better.
Which isn't saying much.
I like the Jets. Jets are my team. It's just a lean. I'm not betting. It's nothing I'm saying bet the farm on.
Yeah.
Anyways, that wraps up today's show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a great show, 2 hours worth of picks. We'll have the premium and the VIP shows up next for those of you that or have checked that out. If you're not premium or VIP, well, we still love you anyway. It's certainly not mandatory, but it's up to you. It's $50 a month for the premium, $100 for VIP. You get picks every day, tons of them, and VIP you also get a free consensus report. That's worth $50 on its own. So thanks everyone for joining us. Have an awesome day. I'm going to try and act more professional tomorrow. If you haven't entered the contest, do it today. Do it now. Don't wait till the last minute because it will be a frustrating situation. You guys have seen how Rod gets when he gets a little frustrated. So, hey, it's your bed. You can lie in it. Have a great day, everyone. Going to try and act more professional tomorrow. Joe, as always, been awesome sharing the morning with you.
Thanks, Mitch. It was a great way to